New York Yankee fans, what's going on other than the Yankees fucking losing? Welcome back. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all the good stuff. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Share this out as well. And also, if you haven't already, because I know a lot of you are sick of this bullshit, go in the shop. It's either in the description or it's listed as products below. Go and buy our latest t-shirt, Fire Boone, Fire Cashman, if you're done with this shit. Because I am, and I'm getting my shirt within the next few days. But we appreciate you being here as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to all the good stuff. We're doing a lot of different things over the next few days. But how low can the bar get? How low can the play get on the field for the New York Yankees? We are 1-5, and I'm going to say we because I fucking can. 1-5 since the All-Star break. And you would think right off the bat, well, you know, the Yankees probably lost to two good teams. The fuck they did not. No, they did not. Nope. They lost to a third-place team in the Angels. They got swept. They got swept by the Angels, who, guess what? Coming into the series, were not over fucking 500. And I bet you they were in fourth place because Seattle has a similar record to them. So there's that. And we may have made them fucking contenders again. So they might say, you know what? We're not going to sell Ohtani. Who knows? Because the Yankees are in fucking last right now, which I haven't seen, I don't think ever. Like, I'm a Yankee fan. Listen, I'm different than other younger Yankee fans. Other younger Yankee fans will say, oh, Aaron Boone is good and all these different things. They'll have a different opinion because they've never seen winning. I'm that type of guy where I've been surrounded by my friends, by my family, who've seen the Yankees win championships. And I inherit that sort of mentality of 27 rings. Our standards are really high because of George M. Steinbrenner and a lot of other different things as well. The Yankees are last place right now. They lost the Rockies, who were in last place. But this team under Aaron Boone continues to make fucking excuses. This team under Aaron Boone continues to perform like shit. And you know what? I know what people are going to say. Alex, it's not all Aaron Boone's fault. Brian Cashman put this team on the field. Yes, he did. But you know what? Over the past few years, Aaron Boone, I think there's that saying, right? You are a puppet if you choose to be a puppet. And it's not one way or the other anymore. Somewhere along the lines, it has to fall in. Aaron Boone has to be faulted. Because this is a garbage team. I have never seen a team this bad. Now, mind you, I watched 2013, which was an utter shit show. Spent some money on Travis Hafner, Lyle Overbay. I watched that team, and I have so many bad memories of that team. I could literally name you the 25-man roster, the 26-man roster, whatever it was back then. I could literally name you the roster. 2021 was also horrible, if you guys remember, right? 2021 was horrible. You start out with Mike Ford, Mike Talkman, Brett Gardner. You don't have a proper left fielder, right? And all these other different issues. Jay Bruce. Does anybody remember when Jay Bruce retired mid-fucking season? Does anybody remember when Troy Tulowitzki did the same thing in 2019? Obviously, the Yankees have had good and bad stretches over the past season, even last season, whatever. But as a Yankee fan, you must admit to yourself, this is the worst stretch I've seen in 2 years. Honestly. I don't know about 21, but when you're losing to the Rockies, who are fucking dead last in their division, and then you get swept by the Angels. And we have a lot to talk about the Angels series alone with Aaron Boone and the way this team is performing under him. So let's get right into that. We're going to talk about Aaron Boone. We're going to talk about stuff from the Angels series, stuff from the past two series, stats, certain players, and we'll get to Brian Cashman at the end and then a recap. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit. I really am. I really am. I want to go to the stadium and enjoy myself. But I'm not really motivated to. I'm motivated to spend more more money on tickets to go to New Jersey Transit to take it to fucking Giants training camp. Because guess what? I bet you, a lot of you right now, Jet fans, Giant fans, Bills fans, whatever the fuck you are, or, you know, I feel bad for also the people that only watch one sport. Because if you only watch the Yankees, you're fucked. You're fucked. But let's go back to the Angels series. Let's relive that nightmare for 20 seconds. It's more than 20 seconds. I'm going to tell you that right now. 44 fucking Ks in 3 games. 44 Ks. Right? How many is that a game? That's about 14 Ks a game. You know how horrible that is? That's fucking off. That's Mets shit. The Mets literally do that shit on an everyday basis. But guess what? I guess the Yankees have Mets disease now. Because, yeah, you could factor in the All-Star break. But the Yankees have not won a series in July. We've played the fucking Cubs. We've played the Rockies. We've played the Cardinals. We've played the Angels. We haven't won a goddamn series. The last series we won was at the end of June against the Athletics when we had the perfect game. But just to go back, right, to that first game real quick. Griffin Canning, a guy who came into the game, and we're going to talk about these pitchers ERA because it's not like the Orioles last year where they were under 500 for a time. They didn't have an offense, but they had good pitching. None of these teams that we faced have good fucking pitching. So there's no excuse to say, oh, well, you know, this guy's a Cy Young winner, this thing, guy, that thing. Oh, he had the stuff. No, these pitchers that we fucking faced are terrible. I'm going to get to that. Trust me. Trust me. We're going to get to that. But Griffin Canning struck out the Yankees fucking 12 times. Walked 3 batters. I think he had over 100 pitches at some point, but he got out of the game just in time. And there was only one other bullpen pitcher that allowed a run. So there's that. Oswaldo Peraza in the first game, he had some very solid at-bats. I have to give it to him. He worked like a leadoff hitter should and worked the count really well. I think he had something like 4 walks. But we're going to highlight the bad. We're going to highlight the bad because it's been bad over good in a lot of different scenarios over the last fucking 6 games. Oswaldo Peraza picked off on Monday and thrown out at third on Sunday. How do you let that happen? This is not anything new with the New York Yankees, and sometimes it's not just the player, it's the fucking organization itself. Because, you know, if it was just one player, I'd say, okay, this player is just a terrible base runner. They don't have any baseball IQ. They have speed. But it's more than one player. We're going to get to the stats when we get to the stats section because, trust me, I have a lot of shit to unload. But when you're thrown out 2 days in a row, I'm not saying, you know, it's not Peraza's fault. It is. Trust me. And then after game 1, he has had a bad couple of games. I'm going to give him a few days because the Yankees haven't given him a consistent fucking chance. But come the fuck on. This is the major leagues. This isn't Little League. So there's that. But we get to some of the worst parts. Not to mention they only score 3 runs in the game, which obviously is one of the reasons why the Yankees lost. And to go back to that, let's go back to that. The Yankees were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Now, the Angels were 1 for 11, but what's the difference, folks? They won the game. So it doesn't really fucking matter. But, again, let's go back to the notepad. 2 days in a fucking row, you bring in the same fucking bum in Nick Ramirez. This guy, and you know what's the biggest thing, too? Is like, if he's solid, I'll give you credit. But the same question I literally asked 2 days in a row. And even in the second game we did on Game Season for NYY News TV. Where the fuck is Juan De Peralta? The guy pitched just last night, right? He pitched just last night. I'm going to pull up the fucking stats right now. He had a 2.45 ERA, worked a third of an inning. The Yankees continue to mismanage this bullpen in so many different ways. They pull out the bum pitchers for no reason. They leave Juan De Peralta for some of the games that, like, dude, we're not in the game, so why are you putting your best relievers in a game that doesn't matter? He could have fucking saved the game against, what was it, the Rockies, the last game, the third game. And then you make the same fucking mistake, not once, but twice. You guys know that SpongeBob meme, right? You want to see me do it again?
You want to see me do it again?
That's what Aaron Boone did. He put in Nick Ramirez, and Nick Ramirez, in the bottom of the 11th inning, or was it 10th, whatever the fuck, gave up a walk-off hit, and the Yankees lost. And I called it because I knew if it was the top of the 10th and Nick Ramirez was coming in, the Yankees did not score in the top of the 10th, I said the game was fucking over. And guess what? It was over. So I don't get that. Nick Ramirez for Wandy in the 11th, over Wandy more like. Oswaldo Peraza being picked off, and then the day before thrown out at third. And there was another incident where the base running was terrible against the Rockies, but we're going to reference the Angels series just because it's more of a recency thing. But let's talk about this, right? Another I can't even talk today. Characteristic of Aaron Boone. He's like Robert Saleh. He likes to compliment the other fucking team. I'm sorry if I'm spitting, but he likes to compliment the other team. And he makes excuses to justify losing. He creates cop-outs. He makes excuses okay. You know what he said? You know what he said in game 2? Or what was it? Yeah, it was game 2, I remember. Because Pete Simonetti did live. I'm sorry if I'm stumbling and mumbling, but I'm fucking pissed. You know what he said about Griffin Canning? Oh yeah, you know, he had his stuff, but we made him work hard. We made him his count drive up.
Last night against Canning, you know, he kind of shut us down, but we at least made him work hard.
What does it fucking matter? You lost. You fucking lost. You struck out 12 times against this asshole. And you know what? He's still got a 4.5 ERA. So, yeah, he didn't dominate. He didn't pitch a no-hitter against you guys. But the fact that he still had a 4.5 ERA, 12 strikeouts, and some pretty solid stats, and it's only down to a 4.5 ERA, tells you something. He fucking sucked before he faced you guys. And you weren't able to fucking hit him. Which we're gonna, once again, I keep leaking these little, you know, tidbits, like I'm dropping candy for a little fucking, you know, bug, or, you know, cheese for a rat, if you will, trying to trap the rat. But what I'm trying to get is, get to really, is I'm going to get to those stats and talk about this team overall outside of the Angels series in a little bit. So game 2, not much of anything. It's just basic bullshit. But we'll reference game 2 either way. Yankees lose 5-1. Herman gives up 5 earned runs. Not to mention Stanton in right field. Anyone see fucking Giancarlo Stanton? We'll get to him in a little bit. Did anyone see Stanton in that one play when Shohei Ohtani hit a triple? Dude was jogging his fucking... He was taking his time. He was taking his time. And you know what? I'm not going to blame Aaron Boone for that, because Giancarlo Stanton's legs are fucking... They're fucking burnt. They're cooked. They're cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey. He is cooked. I'm going to make a video about him in a few days, because I have been calling this shit since 2021. You know it. You guys want to go back and find the proof? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. It's July of 2021. We talked about Stanton fucking losing his grip. And you know what? The Yankees are just teeter-tottering with him. I'm not even going to get into it right now, because that's going to be a separate video. But that's just a fucking mind-boggling play. So there's that. Let's skip to game 3, right? The most recent one. Oswaldo Cabrera's mishap in left field. Mind you, I might not go in order, but please bear with me. His mishap in left field. He's going to left field. He puts his glove down like this. It bounces fair. Touched by a fan. That's technically a ground rule double. Now, I don't know if the fan got ejected. That's not the fucking point right now. But there's 2 things to go from that. Number 1, Oswaldo Cabrera should not be a fucking big leaguer. He should not. After today's game, Oswaldo Cabrera is hitting 208. He should not be playing every day, and he should not be playing at all in the big leagues. I'm going to tell you that right now. His plate discipline sucks. And this is not me getting on a guy to get on a guy. I have seen his at-bats. I played baseball. I know what it looks like. Don't give me this advanced stat shit. And in the outfield, like, I don't know what position he can play. Because, he's, you know, he's an outfielder. And I literally came into this season saying, do not pigeonhole Oswaldo Cabrera in left field. Go get yourself a left fielder. Even if it meant doing something off the bench, getting Florio up here just so you don't have to play Aaron Hicks. But guess what? The Yankees decided to let Aaron Hicks take over a part of their season, release him. He's doing good with Baltimore right now. Keep Cabrera, $280 fucking million. No left fielder on the roster. Calhoun on the IL. Bowers on the IL. This guy on the IL. But that's okay, guys. But that's okay. That's going to be our trade deadline. That's going to be the acquisition. The Yankees are going to act like that's going to be the trade fucking deadline. And you know who's going to come out and say that too? Michael Kay. But we'll get to that, right? We'll get to that. So, what else do we got here? Wild throw by Anthony Volpe. Going to get to him in a second because I'm not particularly happy with him. Cordero thrown out at third on a ground ball hit to the left side. This is, again, going back to the base running thing, which we'll mention in the stats on a bigger picture scale. If you are a baseball player, you know that if you're at second base, right? You're at second base, ground ball to the left side, which is your right as a base runner. You do not run unless it's 2 outs. unless it's 2 outs. But guess what? What does Frenchie Cordero do? He thinks it's a fucking run-on-contact situation. And guess what? The shortstop, Zach Neto, makes a good play, throws to third, the runner is out. How many fucking times the last 2-3 years we've seen that under Aaron Boone? Countless. Countless, ladies and gentlemen. This is Major League Baseball, not Little Leagues where they teach you that shit. And even then they're not teaching them that shit because Little Leaguers would be able to comprehend this shit. I bet you guys have seen it. Anyway, wild throw by Volpe. Juan De Peralta comes in a meaningless game. How about this, right? And I'm going to go half-sided here. I'm going to play middleman. Which is my nickname on Boys in the Big Apple. Carlos Rodon pitches like shit. Let's be honest. He pitches like shit. In my defense of him, I will say, anyone who came out here and expected Carlos Rodon to be anything like he was the past 2 years with Chicago and San Francisco is a complete idiot. Because how do you come out with that expectation? And I'm not trying to purposely defend the guy, but it just shows you the lack of pitching depth that the Yankees have on this roster. Johnny Brito, he's been solid. He's not a number 1. He's not a number 2 guy. Sevy has been fucking awful. Awful. But that's okay. He was tipping pitches, and he's good from the stretch now, which he looks completely fucking uncomfortable. Completely fucking uncomfortable. But back to Rodon. Pitching depth. But here's where I don't respect Rodon, but then I respect him again. He leaves the game. Yankee fans are pissed at him. And you know what? It's the New York market. And they show up in big places, right? You go to Texas, you go to Pittsburgh, you go to LA, you go to Seattle. You will have your Yankee fans there. That's what we do. We travel to opposing stadiums. We're not like some bumpkin team where we're just going to sit in our own ballpark and be a bunch of fucking lifers, okay? So, what does Carlos Rodon do? When he's out of the game, he hears some people snickering. He hears some people sitting there, bashing his performance, whatever. He blows a kiss. He blows a kiss to them. Dude, don't do that. And I will give him credit. He came out and said, basically, he pitched like shit. What else did he say? I got some quotes here. He didn't do his job, which I will come out and say, okay, I'll give you a break. I guess it was the best reaction I could give. Better to not give a reaction, I guess. Remove the I guess. It was better not to not give a reaction. And let me tell you something, buddy. If you plan on staying in New York for a little bit of a long time, however many years that is, you're going to have to get used to it. Because as much as I don't like Giancarlo Stanton as a player right now, he's learned to take accountability and just say, the fans, as much as we love them, they can't be in my head. Because we've seen this before with other players. Joey Gallo. You guys, maybe some of you are Knicks fans. Julius Randle. You go to the side of Queens, right? Javi Baez, the middle finger scandal, right? I'm not comparing that to this, but still, don't fucking do that. Especially when you're coming off a bad performance, and especially when your team is only 3 games over 500. So there's that. Let's go over this one real quick, and then we're going to go to the stats, the one I've been teasing for the longest. That's just an overall over the season, over the last 162 to 200 games, and over the last 6 games too. But let's talk about this, right? Anthony Volpe and Anthony Rizzo laughing in the dugout. And the day before, Gleyber Torres chasing Eduardo Escobar with a toy cat. I'm all for fun and games. Listen. Baseball, you're supposed to have fun. Sports, you're supposed to have fun. Trust me, I played baseball not just to get out there and be athletic, but it's to have fun. It's to have fun with your teammates, and all that sort of stuff. But when your team is fucking losing the way they are, and I don't give 2 shits about how you're performing. Sometimes it will affect my opinion of you. Gleyber Torres, a little less hot on him, though he's shown this before because he had a plush cat in the dugout when, we had a split series with the Mets, and then he was chasing around Eduardo Escobar with the toy cat when the Yankees just lost the game to the Angels, and now we've been swept. So, once again, people are trying to compare it to like Matsui coming back to Yankee Stadium and meeting up with the players. That doesn't make any sense because, again, Yankee fans, some of them just don't know what winning is like. But back to the situation at hand, no, this is not a playground. Again, if you guys were in first place and you were riding high, best team in the AL, fine. Even second place. but your team is last place. You should be fielding ground balls, doing whatever, and working on team chemistry. And also, Aaron Boone did condone, he condemned the acts from Mr. Rodon. He said that he would like him not to do that. So I guess that's an Aaron Boone answer for you guys. And then, once again, back to Anthony Volpe and Anthony Rizzo laughing in the dugout. What's so fucking funny? No, but I'm being dead serious. What's so fucking funny? And listen, people will criticize me for criticizing certain players because they hug them, right? They love them. They're the fan girls, fan boys, whatever. Anthony Rizzo has literally taken a drop like we've never seen before. Dude was hitting .313 at the beginning of the season. I didn't expect that to stay at the top for a while. I didn't expect it, right? You know, okay, he'll go down to like 280, 290, maybe 270. The dude is hitting 240-7 right now. He's hitting 133 in his last 7, 143 in his last 15, and 181 in his last 30. That's something to laugh about, Anthony? You know what? We'll go on to you as well after this one. But Anthony Volpe, what's going on with him? I mean, when do we start ringing the bell of concern? He was the #1 overall prospect for the Yankees. And I'm not saying trade him or this, that, and the other thing. Like, obviously, I have my views about trading him for Juan Soto. Dude's hitting 207. He was at 230 for a while. It looked like, hey, listen, before the All-Star break, you know, he's trying to turn it on, whatever. 111 in the last 7, 161 in the last 15, 252 in the last 30. But he's really slowed down as of late. So something must be happening. Something fucking must be going on. But Anthony Rizzo, let's go back to 2 of his quotes, because apparently he has boonified himself. He's starting to make excuses. So a few nights ago, July 16th, which I believe was Sunday, right? The Yankees lost in walk-off fashion. I forget who homered. I think it was Tovar. And Anthony Rizzo after the game, well, bad teams are usually 15 games under 500 right now. Are you fucking serious? You are playing on a bad team. You. You are a part of that bad team because it's a team and you suck right now. Let's be honest. $17 million for a fucking average of, let's see, that's not him. For an average of 133 over the last 7, 143 in the last 15, 181 over the last month, the historic drop you taken. But listen, he deserves $17 million. And then he says, oh, yeah. Hold on, I got to pull up the tweet for you guys. I got to pull up the tweet. I must pull up the tweet. Brian Hoke was quoted with saying this because, of course, it was getting off Anthony Rizzo. It's hard to have fun when you're getting your teeth kicked in. That was about 24 to 48 hours ago. Well, of course it's not fun. Maybe you should fucking do something about it. And you know what I replied? I said, I'm not having fun anymore. It's that Odell tweet or Odell quote. But let's go back to the stats and the overall picture statistically of the Yankees right now. Let's go to a side note, which goes back to the Rocky series. Austin Gomber, who was the first guy out of the gate the Yankees faced, and it was a Rodon start too, he led the MLB in runs and home runs given up. And he still is the leader of those two categories. Hey, Alexa, how many runs did the Yankees score off Austin Gomber? Alexa would tell you 2. 2 runs, right? 2 runs. 2-run homer by Giancarlo Stanton. Other than that, the Yankees did dick. 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. After the game, his ERA was a 6.19. And don't give me this, oh, he's 8-7 now, he's a 500 record pitcher. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's talk about the past 6 days. All pitchers Yankees faced over the past 6 days. You want to know their average ERA? I did the calculations. 5.56. 5.56. That's not good. And you would expect the Yankees to come out here and, just destroy these guys. But you know what? Friends, we're going to do some math live on air. We're going to do some math, right? Because math is a part of the game, right? Math is a part of the game. We're going to do it right now. So, the Yankees won 6-3 against the Rockies, okay? in addition to the 2 losses that they already had. So 2, 7, 6, which is good enough for me. Then you go to the Angels series. They score 3 runs in the first game. The second game, they score 1. The third game, they score 3. So 1 and 3. That's 22. You divide that by 6. That's 3 runs a game. That doesn't fucking get it done. And you know what? If you're this bum team, this A's team, okay, that gets it done. Not really, because they're tanking. But the thing is, $280 million for a lineup to score 3 runs a fucking game. And when the Yankees, in terms of pitching side of things, when Garrett Cole doesn't pitch, they don't win. Oh, that's right, they don't win anyway, because Garrett Cole literally had a solid start against Colorado that last game. I thought we were going to win, but guess what? We didn't, because we let Nick Ramirez and Ron Marinaccio ruin it for us. But that's great bullpen management, Aaron Boone. Love the Yankees' new philosophy of taking a pitcher out with 2 outs, leaving him in for a third of an inning, and then going to a pitcher next inning. I love that philosophy. I don't know where the fuck it came from. Probably Mike Fishman. But anyway, Yankees, right? This is a new stat. Yankees are 12 games over 500 with Aaron Judge and 9 games under 500 without Aaron Judge. What did Aaron Boone have to say about that? He goes,
That's what the story is. So we can correct it. We got the players to do it. We have players with track record to do it.
No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. We've been hearing this, it's the story for a while, and they've done jack shit to fix it. It's been that way the last 2 years. I don't think Judge had an IL stint last year. But Judge has been on the IL fucking twice, and the Yankees have done jack shit without him. And that whole Bader thing of, well, the Yankees usually win with Harrison Bader, that's starting to go in the toilet now. A, because he's injured again, and B, because, well, they're fucking losing. Let's go to the stats again. Right? So, shout-outs to, let's see, L.I. Yankee King. And also, let's see, Max Goodman. The Yankees are 82 and 81 in 163 games over the last 163 games. That's a full season plus a game. Imagine if that was an actual season. So it just literally fucking tells you that the first half of last year was a total facade. It was a total mirage. I called it too. Once they faced the Astros, they fucking plummeted just like the running back market in the NFL. I found that as relevant, so I just decided to say it. Over the last 201 games, the Yankees are 102 and 99. As Gordon Ramsay would say, where are the standards? Where are the standards for this fucking team? And, I get it. People will take their sample size and say, oh, well, the Yankees are still this. You're just taking stats from the past 160 some odd games. No, because there's more negative than positive at this point. Let's see. Let's go back to the stats, right? Team is top 10 in outs on base and pickoffs. What does that have to tell you? What does that have to fucking tell you? That this team literally is a fucking Little League team on the bases. They're a T-ball team on the bases. They don't know how to run the bases. I get it. You have, infielders in the outfielder, infielders in the outfield, outfield in the infield. Some sort of roster construction is not correct, right? And there's only so much you control. But if you're Aaron Boone, you bring in Sean Casey, you bring in Carlos Mendoza, all these different guys, these guys should be able to run the fucking bases. And you know what? If they don't run the bases correctly, guess what you do? You fucking pull them. You start raining in the locker room. We've seen it with other teams this season. I think it was Arizona, right? Torey Lovullo. He benched somebody because they failed to make a play. Wander Franco, he was benched due to performance issues by Kevin Cash. Brian Snitker benched Marcell Ozuna for pimping out a fly ball or pimping out something. We've seen it with other teams, but the Yankees don't fucking do it because guess what? They are ballless. They are ballless. And you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it. This has happened ever since Girardi left because Girardi actually had testicles. Would he be a good manager in the moment? I don't know. The ifs, buts, candies, and nuts, it'd be Christmas. Right? That's the saying. But we know other teams are doing it, and they're doing much better than us. I mean, yeah, the Rays just choked the division, but they're still in second place. The Diamondbacks, right? They got this team. They didn't spend a lot. Hey, they're in first place right now. Torey Lovullo looked really bad as a manager the first few years. Now he's the winningest manager in D-backs history. Brian Snitker. Well, let's see. They're leading the division over there in the NL East, but what are the Yankees doing, right? No accountability. The process is better than the results. And what are the results right now? We are in 5th place, below the Boston Red Sox, who probably were supposed to be worse this year. And you know what's fucking sad, too? Is I actually had this team winning the division. I had the Yankees winning the division. That's not going to be anywhere fucking close now. 6th in team errors per game. What does that tell you? We don't have the proper guys playing the goddamn field. As good offensively as Gleyber Torres has been, I believe he leads the league at second base in terms of errors. That's not a good category. That's not a good category. Not to mention how many fuck-ups we've had in left field alone. You could probably count those with your hands and your fucking toes. This was, I believe, before last night's game. The Yankees were 18th in runs, 26th in on-base percentage, 18th in slugging, 29th in batting average. Right? So let's go to this one. Sean Casey, in terms of Aaron Boone on Sean Casey, they're friends. He's already made an impact. Really? You know, honestly, it would have been better to say, well, we still need a few days. I would rather have accepted that as an answer. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Because he's already made an impact. Let's see, your team is scoring 3 runs a game against pitchers that are bums, that literally probably can't even pitch an A-ball correctly. I mean, I understand that Aaron Boone has a limited, I would say, pocket full of answers, because obviously you don't want to trash your team and you're being held back by the organization, but he's a fucking moron. Choose right what to say within your limits. He's already made an impact. Yeah, 3 runs a game will say that. Yeah, 3 already made an impact. You know what? Sean Casey also started celebrating when Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run. I mean, that's great for the Yankees, but they were still down, what, 5 runs? 6 runs? Maybe even 4 runs? So, I can't stand it anymore. And you know what? We'll talk about this just minor, because I've been ranting, I've been rambling and all this other shit. Can we talk about how the catcher position has absolutely degraded itself? I talked about months ago how second base was a problem. It seems like catcher's now that problem. Jose Trevino, right? Came over last year, hit well offensively, was this defensive guru. He's not even starting now. And you know what? Brian Cashman is working ass backwards on all this shit. It's so fucking complicating. And it's so fucking stupid, too. Because Trevino right now, he's hitting 210, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, 214 in the last 7, 206 in the last 15, and 211 in the last 30. Now you jump to Kyle Higashioka, 232. And this is where we start to go in the Brian Cashman section of things. Because he's got a part of this, too, trust me. 232, 5 home runs, 24 RBIs. He's hitting well in the last 7 to 15 games, 294 in both. So there's this other guy who didn't exist for a while, and then he came up, and then he did well, and the Yankees sent him back down. So it doesn't make any sense, really, because you made this awful deal for Josh Donaldson and IKF that should have been made, so you got that. You bring a catcher over who is immediately injured, misses his first year as a Yankee. Both of your catchers who you've doubled down on are not performing well. This guy is hitting 286 with 6 bombs and 23 RBIs in AAA. Right? You traded for him as a part of a bigger bullshit deal. And then you obviously traded for Trevino for a hamburger and a hot dog. Obviously getting Albert Abreu back. Traded for Trevino, right? And then you're still holding down Kyle Higashioka. Those two are doing bad. So why not go back on your original word and say, we're going to call Ben Nordvet up. We're going to send one of these guys down or trade them for a hamburger and a hot dog. It doesn't make any sense. The process is so flawed with the New York Yankees. It makes every fan, or at least most fans, mad. So you got a total hole at the catcher position. Now it's rumored with Ken Rosenthal and all these other people, yeah, the Yankees are going to search for catchers at the deadline. You know what that tells us? That tells us, number one, that the Yankees fucked up their own position again. Number two, that tells you that the Yankees are going to buy, but they're going to buy cheap. They're going to try to buy like the 2021 Braves, except we're not the Braves. We don't have the coaching of the Braves. We don't have the team of the Braves. They got Eddie Rosario. They got all these different guys. They got Jorge Soler. They turned Jorge Soler into something for whatever time period it was. I remember he had a big home run against the Astros in the World Series. But who do we have? Who do we have that these small guys that we will get at the deadline are going to turn into big impact players? Randall Grichuk? I mean, the guy's hitting over 300, but he's also missed 30-some-odd games due to injury. Dylan Carlson, 240 hitter? Well, that's a big impact move right there. I mean, Donovan's a good hitter from St. Louis. Nootbaar is a solid hitter from St. Louis, but they're not big impact players. They are not going to be, the guy we need. We're still going to need more pieces. That's the problem. And what catcher's on the fucking market anyway? Yan Gomes? It just doesn't make any sense. So, to just hurry up on Brian Cashman, took forever to call up Peraza and left Josh Donaldson in. $81 million on the AL, Judge, Cortez, Loaiziga, Wash Donaldson, shitty skunk mullet. $280 million fucking dollars. No outfielders other than Bader and Stanton right now. Not calling up Florial. He's still raking in the minor leagues. Montage trade. Complete bust. They said, oh, yeah, we might see him in Anaheim. Where is he? Where is he? Seriously. Like, that's the new Ben Nordvik, guys. Frankie Montas. Awful trade. Second worst trade within the last 2 years for Brian Cashman. And then I talked about the catcher position. So, a lot of different things in this video. The Yankees must sell and Aaron Boone must go. It's a lot. I get it. And listen, look, if they did get Juan Soto, I would be happy, right? I think that's the only move that the Yankees can make other than Ohtani that would make this team even a playoff team. Like, they would probably bounce in front of the Red Sox, the Jays, get a wild card spot, which obviously you want to be a World Series contender with Soto, but the roster construction of the team is shit, so that's not going to work. But if you do get Soto, great. But other than that, which is very unlikely, sell. And I get it. People are going to say, hey, listen, you can't sell these guys. Who's going to buy Stanton? Who's going to buy LeMahieu? Sell Torres. I'm not saying this because, well, Torres, I don't think he's a long-term fit at second base. But, hey, listen, if you could get a solid couple of prospects for him or a starting pitcher for the future, maybe a center fielder, maybe an outfielder, I mean, you sell what you can. I don't know what Canley's ERA is like. He's on a one-year contract. He's a rental. Maybe sell Wandy. I don't know how much control you got of him. Listen, if you could get him for prospects, do it. But the Yankees must sell at the deadline, and Aaron Boone must go. Like, comment, subscribe to all the good stuff. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Once again, apologies for the long video, but I have to get a lot of shit out there. And with that being said, also please buy our Fire Boone, Fire Cashman shirts. They should be below with the View products and stuff like that. And if they're not, go to the channel, the shop, and it should be there. But we appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe to all the good stuff. We're a few subscribers away from 1.3K. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next time.